Happy Halloween! Hello everyone, Soberoni of G&A Reviews here with a spooky servant spotlight for Chaldea's most frighteningly sexy servant, Osakabe Hime. After all, what's more terrifying than being a NEET? We'll be examining her stats and skills, as well as going over pointers to how to utilize her effectively, and an overall grade comparing her to how she stacks up to the other 5-star servants. Now, onto Hime's stats. Osakabe Hime has a max HP of 13,822 and a max attack of 10,824, which becomes 9,741 thanks to her assassin class damage modifier. She has both the highest HP and lowest attack among all 5-star assassins, so she is very much a servant of extremes. Compared to all the other 5-star servants, she maintains an above average HP stat, but an abysmally low attack. Overall, she has a very defensive stat spread, similar to a tank. Taking a look at her skills, her first skill is Morph rank A+. It increases her defense for 1 turn by 30%, and increases it further for 3 turns between 10 and 30%, and increases her debuff resist for 3 turns between 20 and 40%, both depending on level. This can be upgraded through an interlude, which transforms the skill into 4 Gods Divination Hakuro rank A, and it adds the effect of increasing the crit strength of all allies for 3 turns between 30 and 50% depending on level. Her second skill is Chiogami Manipulation rank EX. It increases the NP gauge of an ally between 10 and 20% and increases the critical star drop rate of that ally for 3 turns between 30 and 50%, both depending on level. And finally, her last skill is Castle Monster rank A++. It decreases the defense of one enemy for 1 turn between 20 and 40% depending on level, and it removes all of their buffs. For her passives, she has Territory Creation rank A+, which increases her Arch card effectiveness by 11%, Presence Concealment Shadow rank B, which increases her critical star drop rate by 8%, but decreases her debuff resist by 10%, and Divinity rank C, which applies damage plus 150 to all her cards. Moving on to her deck and Noble Phantasm, Osakabe Hime has a quick Arts deck with Quick, Arts Buster, and a quick Noble Phantasm. Her Noble Phantasm is Hakurojo no Hyakuhachi Tendo-sama, which increases the defense of the whole party for 3 turns by 20%. It also increases their quick card effectiveness for 3 turns between 30 and 50% depending on overcharge, and increases their max HP for 3 turns between 1000 and 2000 depending on level. This can be upgraded through an interlude, which will add the effect of increasing Buster card effectiveness for 3 turns for the party between 30 and 50% depending on overcharge, and improves the increased HP effect to between 2000 to 4000 HP. Taking a closer look at her cards, we see that her quick card hits 4 times, her arts hits twice, her buster hits 3 times, and her extra attack hits 5 times. She has an NP gain rate of 0.83% and a star rate of 24.6%. This translates into good Noble Phantasm gain due to the high NP gain rate and the double arts and quick deck, and she also has some good star generating from her 4-hit quick cards. Osakabe Hime is without a doubt the most beautiful servant in all of FGO. That isn't really pertinent to this gameplay analysis, but I felt it was just a fact that needed to be shared. Her body aside, Osakabe Hime does have everything you want to see in a support. High HP, good NP gain, and good star generating. Her strengths aren't just limited to her stats either. She also packs some really good skills. Morph is a good defensive ability that gives enough defense to survive at most enemy attacks, including NPs, for a turn. In Osakabe Hime's case, it also additionally buffs her debuff resist by a decent amount for 3 turns, which does help offset the demerit on her passive. At release, there isn't much to say about this skill. However, once Osakabe Hime receives her skill interlude, Morph becomes an incredibly strong party-wide crit buff. The buff to crit damage fits perfectly with her kit and will boost the overall damage of your crit team considerably, making this both a strong offensive and defensive skill with a short cooldown. Osakabe Hime's second skill, Chiogami Manipulation, is a good piece of utility. It's a targetable 20% NP charge with no downside, so that's pretty strong, especially for setting up a farming team with Kaleidoscope. In addition, this skill also gives a powerful star gen buff too. It's always helpful for making a crit team more consistent. Finally, Castle Monster is a big 40% defense down debuff that also removes all enemy buffs. Buff removal is great to have for tougher battles and challenge quests, while the defense down is perfect when you're ready to nuke an enemy servant with your damage dealer. Prior to her skill interlude, you should prioritize leveling Chiogami Manipulation first so that you can take advantage of the 20% NP charge, followed by Morph for survivability, and then Castle Monster as it is a bit more situational. Post-interlude, however, you can level 4 Goddess's Divination first, as it's essential to crit teams. Osakabe Hime's Noble Phantasm increases your party's defense, quick card effectiveness, and HP, and do note that increasing HP also heals you for the same amount. And after her NP interlude, it also increases Buster card effectiveness and has a stronger heal. As far as support NPs go, this is a powerful one, as it offers a lot of good offensive and defensive buffs. This is a Noble Phantasm that heals your party, makes them tankier with a defense buff, and powers up their damage and star generating. It gives a ton of value and is by far Osakabe Hime's best contribution to the team. Although prior to the interlude, this Noble Phantasm is underwhelming since the heal is much lower and you don't get that much needed Buster buff. Quick teams in particular tend to be fragile, so having a good healer who can also star gen for you works wonders. But this Noble Phantasm is nothing without spammability, and thankfully Osakabe Hime has good NP gain and could potentially use this Noble Phantasm every few turns, allowing the buffs to stack up, or at the very least, giving your whole team a semi-permanent buff to star gen, damage, and defense. Osakabe Hime's own tankiness shouldn't be overlooked either. Between her first skill and her Noble Phantasm, she can reach 80% defense for a turn, so she does have the tankiness to stick around to support the team for a long while. And support the team she does. She has fantastic synergy with most quick and buster crit teams, as she can feed the party stars while healing them and buffing their damage considerably. Another big plus for Osakabe Hime is her very short cooldowns. You don't really have to worry about playing too carefully or wasting a skill because her skills are on a very short timer. And her Noble Phantasm is easily spammable. This ultimately makes her a lot more consistent too. I'd go as far as to say Osakabe Hime is the complete package when it comes to supporting crit teams. She literally offers almost everything that the team needs. However, as complete as she isn't perfect. You'll notice a lot of my praise for her comes from the perspective of her having her buffs. Unfortunately, these buffs are 2 years away after her release, and pre-buffed Hime is drastically worse. Before her interludes, her heal is just too insignificant to play a major role in survival, and she has no support for Buster Servants. She also has no crit damage buff, meaning all she can really do is star gen and give a small buff to your quick cards. And while her interludes do go a long way towards making her a whole lot better, she does still lack in some key areas. Aside from her first skill, her other 2 skills, while decent, aren't anything especially amazing, making a large part of her support ability reliant on her Noble Phantasm. If you can't Noble Phantasm constantly, you're going to dig a hole for yourself. She also notably lacks any hard defense for herself and the team. The 20% defense buff isn't much. But probably most damning of all is that she just doesn't do enough to push anyone over the top. She offers a lot to the team, but no one thing that she does really stands out or is eye-catching in any way. Many other servants offer better crit support, better healing, or better quick and buster buffs. She feels like a jack of all trades and master of none type of character. Although to her benefit, being a jack of all trades means that Osakabe Hime fits excellently into nearly any quick or buster team. She has extreme flexibility. But funny enough, one of the best ways to use Osakabe Hime is as a support to support other supports. An auxiliary support, if you will. She does wonderfully when paired with supports like Nightingale, Waver, or Hans. When paired with supports like these, she can make up for anything that they lack, like star generating and healing in the case of Waver, Noble Phantasm charge and defense buffing in the case of Nightingale, and direct card buffs in the case of Hans. The 2 support 1 damage dealer setup is ideal for Osakabe Hime. In terms of which damage dealers you want her supporting, any crit-based quick or buster servant is going to work well with her, so servants like Rama, Ku Prototype, or Okita. She provides them all with the survivability, star generating, and buffing that they need to go off and be more consistent. Osakabe Hime's Bondcraft Essence is Princess's Origami. It increases the NP gain of all allies by 15%. Not really worth it. You're going to want CEs that boost both your star generating and NP gain instead. Craft essences like Fox Knight's Dream, 4 Beast, Kitchen Patissiere, or Dangerous Beast. Of course, you can also go with pure NP gain or pure star gen CEs like Magical Girl of Sapphire, Petite Devil, 2030, or Seaside Luxury. The important part to note is you want to make sure your NP gain and star generating is as high as it can be. In the future, look to grab heading towards Treefoss. It gives stars per turn and NP generating, with the added buff of crit damage for some more offense if you should want it. Overall, Osakabe Hime is a tough servant to place. She undoubtedly offers the most complete support package to crit teams because of her good star generating, healing, card buffs, and crit buffs. She also can fit into nearly any quick or buster team and do well. She's tanky, and she works exceptionally well as a complement to any quick or buster support if you want to run a 2-support style team. However, prior to her interlude, she is very niche and underwhelming, even in quick teams. And even post-interlude, she has no hard defense, and her buffs are subpar compared to the many other supports. All in all, Hime is getting 2 grades. Prior to her interludes, she gets a B-. She's a decent quick crit support, but not game-changing in any way. However, post-interludes, she does jump up to a B+ because she becomes a lot more versatile and evolves into a more complete support. In my opinion, Hime is just one ring off the top tier. If she had a skill that offered something more unique and maybe had more of an impact, she'd be up there with the best of them. But as of now, she is still a great additional support to bring along to any battle. And those are my thoughts on Osakabe Hime. I think she's a bit underrated just because Merlin and Skadi eat so much of the spotlight, but she's good in her own right. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing if you really enjoyed the video. Join the party over at our Discord, chill with us on Twitch, and follow us on Twitter. And I'll see you all in the next Servant Spotlight. Soberoni out. Later.